Wednesday afternoon, you know what that means. Best Ball Bash and the Randomizer draft. Right now, use the hashtag #JoinTheBash in the chat. And in the next couple of minutes, I will do a drawing. And one of you lucky winners in the chat will hop on stream and draft a Best Ball Mania team on me. My treat. We'll split any of the winnings if it makes it to the Week 17 finals. This is, I believe, our 4th week doing this. We've had 3 great guests so far. Excited to see who will be joining me today. And then following the bash at 2 p.m. Eastern, we are going to have Greg Banos, a.k.a. the Coach Speak Index, making his return to the randomizer. There will be singing. There will be improv. There will be all kinds of shenanigans. You can rest assured for that. But this is the bash, and it looks like we're up to 21 entries here in the chat. You love to see it. Who do we got going here? We got Aaron, we got Jack, we got Frankie, Judson, Greg, JT, Bob, Seth, Evie, Matt, Josh, Schmo becoming a new member here, Frankie, Fantasy Football Garage, Miles, we got my guy Shorty, Disbanded, Seth, Cole, Bay, Julian, Brady, Chad, oh, John Warner, get out of here, Redraw, Schmo, The What, Chief Smoke, what's up, Bindles, what is up here for Lou? Did I forget to do, did I not properly gate the chat here? Did I not properly gate the chat? Because I see entries in here that are not YouTube members. So let me actually make sure before I spin this that I've done this correctly. We might have to do just a slight pivot on the hashtag. Generally what I do, because the only way for me to gate it properly to make sure it's a YouTube member who wins is I make sure that the chat is only eligible for YouTube members. And it looks like I might have forgotten to turn that on today, which would be my bad. So let me see here if I got this right or not. It looks like I maybe didn't get it right. Let's see here. All right. Did I do it correctly? No. Okay. So I messed this up. I did my usual only subscribers there. So this is what we're going to do, guys. In a rare thing, we are going to go back on this. We're going to create Join the Bash. Let's see. How should we do it? Join the Bash 2. Let's just make this as easy as possible. So we're going to redraw Join the Bash 2, a hashtag that is not going to stick. But if you already entered, I'm asking you to re-enter because I did not have it gated for just YouTube members. So now we should be good to go. I'll give us a little bit of extra time here since I had to re-update things. Join the Bash 2. I appreciate those of you who are trying to sneak into the Bash without being a YouTube member. However, this is a perk for members on the channel. Does not matter what level you're at. You just need to be a member on the channel, which will make you eligible to be able to get in here. 2 other notes on that as far as membership stuff. All of the memberships are tiered. So if you want to get access to the After Dark shows on Friday and Saturday nights, that's the Best Ball Value Hounds tier, but you're also obviously eligible then for the Bash. So all of the perks, the Discord access, all of that stuff is tiered via the memberships. And the other thing I wanted to say, I think on Saturday night, I think I am going to do a Best Ball Bash After Dark. So instead of having a guest, one of you guys will be my guest. I know a few of you have mentioned, hey, Pete, I work at 1 p.m. Eastern on a Wednesday. I can't just be, hopping on a stream all willy-nilly in the middle of the workday. So Saturday night, we'll have a Best Ball Bash After Dark edition. So if you have been trying to get on the show or just needed a different time slot, we will do that Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. All right. It looks like we got the Join the Bash 2s going here. I'll give it 1 extra minute. Hashtag Join the Bash 2. We got 32 entries. I think each week our entries keep going up. I want to say the first week it was like 23. And then we're at what, like 26 or 28, up to 33 here today. I also have to give the caveat that StreamYard giveaway tool here, it slow rolls the hell out of you. So I'm just warning you, if you see your name pop up on screen at like the very end of the drawing, there's a really good chance one more name is going to pop up after you. So I'm just telling you right now, we've noticed this over the past few weeks. StreamYard loves to edge you with these giveaways. Yes, Pat, I appreciate you entering again, but I think the spirit of this drawing is to make sure we get a new bash guest every week. But I'm going to call it here. We're at 34 entries. I believe that was about how many we had before I had to respin up the Join the Bash 2. But without further ado, let's figure out who is going to be my guest today. Lots of familiar names in here. Who do we have today? Ben Havard. Congratulations. I believe, no, Ben wasn't who was at the dentist's office on Monday. I think that was Brandon. But Ben, congratulations. I recognize you from many chats, many comments, the Deposit Kingdom Discord. Excited to draft with you. Shoot me a DM on either Twitter or Discord, and I'll send you the StreamYard link right now. You'll send me a message on Discord. Perfect. I'll keep an eye out for that, and we'll get you on here for the bash, baby. And you can finally tell me exactly how to pronounce your name, because every time I read it, I always just want to say Ben Harvard. I just always want to include the R in there, and you're going to teach me. All right, I've received the DM. There's your StreamYard link. And let's get us up over here. There's me, and Ben will be joining us shortly. All right, wow. If Easy is volunteering nice compliments about someone online, you know they have to be good people. Easy says, I've been getting more familiar with Ben's game in the SC Discord. Seems really sharp and thoughtful. Look at that for a ringing endorsement. Wait, do we have Ben in his car?
We are not drafting and driving.
Wow.
We stay parked up. How do I get you off my Bluetooth?
Yeah, get yourself all situated here.
All right, we made it.
Okay. So first of all, I need to know, like, where are you at right now? Did you just run out of your office into your car? Like, what's the setup here?
So I'm at my mom's office. I work nights. I'm a bartender.
Okay.
But my mom, my laptop is my mom's Microsoft Surface from work, and it's no longer working anymore. So I just brought it in to get worked on by the IT guy.
Wow. Okay. So you brought your laptop to your mom's office to have her IT guy figure it out?
Yep.
Wow. And you still said, despite all of this chaos going on in my life with my devices that I usually draft on, I want to hop on the bash, see if I get lucky.
Absolutely. I've been here every week. I've been waiting for this opportunity.
That is incredible. Yeah, let's get the good questions out of the way here. What kind of car are we dealing with right here?
We are in the 2020 Honda Civic.
2020 Honda Civic. I love it. I feel like that's a spiritual, sibling to my car. I have a Toyota Corolla. I've always respected the Civics out there.
I was looking for a Corolla when I was looking for a used car a few years ago, and couldn't find one for a good price. So settled on the Civic.
Okay, there you go. There you go. I've had my Corolla since 2008. We're approaching 100,000 miles on it. My wife wants me to get rid of it because it's only a manual transmission and she doesn't know how to drive it. I refuse. I am pot committed with this vehicle. But Ben, let's get to know you a little bit more other than, heading to your mom's office. You said you're a bartender. I know you're really active in the Discord. You draft a ton of teams. I believe, did I not even see you today mention you don't play Best Ball Mania typically? Is that correct?
So I've been in a few year stream drafts, but like last year I only did 12. And I had one semifinals team. I don't, on Redacted, on Drafters, they give you a bunch of free tickets and stuff for playing. So I'll try to max those out, but I do all the $3, the $5. I'm planning on maxing the eliminator this year, but I do more of the
Nice.
time box, smaller contests.
Love it. So you're going to get a good chunk of your BBM exposure through this stream. You mentioned maxing the eliminator time box contests. So I assume you like to play kind of the market game, try to anticipate risers, fallers.
Yep.
Is that your jam?
Yep.
Beautiful. Anything I should know before we hop in this draft? You know, your style of drafting. Are you a 0 RB bro? Are you an ADP guy? Are you an 8.3% of every player? What am I working with here?
I've drafted off of ADP mostly. I try to anticipate mostly market risers. So I'm overweight on a lot of people. Like I was really overweight on Rashee Rice when he was going in the late third. I was trying to get in on J.K. Dobbins before he signed. But I'm mostly like hero 0 RB. I kind of like the hyper dead zone builds where you grab like 3 receivers, an elite tight end, you grab a running back in the 5th and 6th. There's a lot of interesting profiles between Ken Walker, Chuba, Connor, the rookies with Harvey and Henderson. So I like grabbing 2 of those, and starting early receiver sets you up for that.
All right, beautiful. Well, we will do it live. We will figure it out on the fly. Just dropped us into a Best Ball Mania draft here. We had 2 spots left. Looks like maybe a couple people from the chat will get in to draft with us. Unfortunately, Ben, no influencer 101 for you. We got the 112 here. How do you feel about that?
I've been pretty comfortable drafting from the back end of the board. I like sometimes grabbing one of the elite QBs at that 3-4 turn and starting double receiver. You get to go between that Nico, Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas range.
Okay, and I'm excited about this, especially if you do have us go in that elite quarterback direction. I obviously haven't been doing that quite as much. How have you been playing that? Like when you go elite QB, are you sticking to 2 QBs? Are you taking advantage of the values with 3 QBs? Like how are you playing elite quarterback?
So it depends on where my stacks are set up. I like to sometimes if I get like Tet at there, I'll go Bryce Young and then try to get one of the late rookies, the Dart or the Shuck or something like that. But traditionally, I'll do elite QB and then one in the window.
Okay. All right. Beautiful stuff here. I do recognize some familiar names in here. JGFC, TM Longacre. We got Mark Wolf. We got Joel. Also, have you ever seen this username in a lobby? NFL? Have you seen NFL? That's incredible. I love it. Underdog should have a rule where he gets to be, or this individual gets to be the only person who gets just the Rob Lowe wearing the NFL hat as their avatar. I think they deserve that for squatting on the NFL username.
That's a perfect. You get a nice like 3 or 4 letter username. It's always super clean.
So where are you based out of right now?
I live in a tiny little town called Manhattan, Illinois. It's about an hour southwest of Chicago.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. And have you been there your whole life?
Yeah. I grew up in an even smaller town called Manuka. So It's like a little Indian town. It's starting to grow now, but yeah, I've always been in these suburbs of Chicago. It's where I've grown up.
You strike me as a young person. I'm going to guess you're like 25?
23.
23. Wow, I even overshot it. Was just hoping you were slightly older than that just to make me feel less old. But look at that. A young whippersnapper, 23. How long have you been drafting on Underdog for?
So I signed up like right at 18 with the Brett Coleman's code. And okay. I was doing some NBA, NFL pick'ems, and then I stumbled into like MLB cash game 3 and 4 man drafts, and I was having so much fun researching the players for those. And then once NFL started, once best ball drafting started, I stumbled upon your channel, the Badge Bros, Fantasy Flock, all that, and I was just like, oh, this is going to be my life. This is so much fun.
Wow. I thought you were going to say this is going to be my new hobby, and you said this is going to be my life.
Oh yeah.
That's incredible.
I have lived my life in slow draft hell for 8 months out of the year.
All right. We're in Fast draft heaven right now. On the clock by ADP, Genty, Amon-Ra, the big dog, Drake London, AJ Brown. What are we doing here, Ben?
I'll take that Genty slide and give me some Amon-Ra with it.
All right, there we go. Let's do it up here. Genty sliding because Pete Carroll mentioned that Raheem Mostert exists, and Amon-Ra sliding just a little bit here. Obviously, McCaffrey, I think, is kind of starting to push some of these guys down now that he's jumping up there. And Brian Thomas goes a little bit ahead of ADP here. So Genty, Amon-Ra for us to start. How are you feeling about Genty in general this year?
I'm kind of been with you. You talked on Best Ball Breakfast a few weeks ago. He's one of the people I'm the lightest in the first round. I'm kind of a little bit lighter on all the first round running backs, trying to just get more receivers early. But I'm like probably 3 or 4% on Genty. I've been seeing him slide into the second round more, kind of where he was at in the big board, and I'll eat that up.
Yep. How you mentioned like really enjoying the time box contest. Has there been a favorite move or ADP riser or faller that you either avoided or got ahead of that you thought lent itself as a strategic angle for a time box contest specifically?
Not specifically. I've really been big on Rice early in the rounds because I think that he'll push up to being right next to Ladd McConkey. If you look at ADP on drafters, he's already right there at like 18 or 19. So yeah. I thought that he was always going to push up into that range as long as we got good health news on him.
Can I ask you a question, Ben? You said you're not driving. Why do you have your seatbelt on?
Because I was about to get in my car and start driving before you picked me.
Oh, okay. And you're so down. Do you want to let your hair down? Take the seatbelt off? Just relax a little bit.
We'll get comfy.
I mean, look, I know getting to these Best Ball Mania drafts, you got to be safe, click it or ticket. But I just want you to be comfortable for this draft.
Oh yeah. Definitely a little nervous. It's my first time being on stream.
No, you're doing great, man. The chat is already calling you a legend here. So you're good. Sit back, relax, keep the hands at 10 and 2 here, and we'll be good to go. Is the shirt you're wearing, did I catch that? Is that the bar shirt that you work at?
Yep. It's a Midwest chain. It's called Wings Etc. It's like Buffalo Wild Wings, but not a ripoff.
Do you know, man, you and I have so many loose connections between our cars. I famously worked at a Buffalo Wild Wings for 2 weeks. My first year came home from college. So look at you and I both working at wings places. What's the clientele like at your bar?
So we're right between 2 hotels. So like there's 2 major highways in Illinois, I-80 that runs everywhere. And then I-55 is kind of the main way to go for south up to the city. And we're right smack dab on the intersection between those. So I get a lot of like warehouse workers and stuff like that are just staying in the hotels, or truckers, stuff like that. So not relatively like fresh people. A lot of times I don't know who you are. Not like I have regulars, but a lot of times it's kind of like a dive bar. Gotcha.
All right, we're about to pick here, and I think the room is trolling you because we see Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson come off the board here. By ADP, you have Terry as the faller, Mike Evans, Tet, Xavier Worthy, DJ Moore, and then Jaden Daniels, if that's the card you want to play.
I'm going to go Evans and Tet.
Evans and Tet, let's do it here. How do you think through, because that's actually a funny one where it's like Terry's the value, but then if you stack him up with Jaden Daniels, which would be pretty tempting, that's actually not that unique because people get him far cheaper, coming around.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of Terry. I think he's up for some touchdown regression. I'm not like really big on drafting much of the Washington receivers because I don't know how that's going to shake out, but I don't see a lot of passing volume like in the offense. There wasn't much last year. It was just a lot of bombs to Terry.
Yeah.
So I think like Jaden naked, or I like getting him with Ertz late. That's kind of how I like to play when I get my Jaden stacks.
Yeah, no, that's I've been the same as you in that I've been passing on Terry mostly around his ADP. The times he slides, and I know I can kind of reliably get Jaden Daniels. there at, pick, say 43. So you get Terry in the middle and then Jaden coming back. I've done that. But yeah, also speaking of Jaden Daniels, JGFC here says, you know what, Ben, you come on stream and say you're the elite quarterback, bro. Hold my beer, because I'm taking Josh Allen and Jaden Daniels in back-to-back picks.
It's time to hit him with the gritty, baby.
Wow. Look at this, getting to hit him with the gritty reference already.
I've got a slow draft going where I got Jaden Daniels in the 4th, and I got Hurts to slide back to me in the 6th. And every time I look at it, I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? Hurts was such a value, but this is just such terrible roster construction.
JGFC, did you hear that? He shots fired. Now, JGFC marches to the beat of his own drum. He does not care what the peanut gallery says about his builds. I assume that team you had AJ Brown on it,
yeah,
and that's why you did it. Yeah.
Yep.
Who is your most drafted player so far this year?
I am at 45% of Will Shipley. I think.
Whoa. Okay.
I think he's just like, they used to have the saying of like 350, 300 plus touches. They're more often to fall off the next year. Mm-hmm. And I just think that like Shipley's a pretty clean contingent bet in the late rounds, and he's behind the best offensive line in the league. If anything were to happen for Saquon for 3 weeks, we could see Shipley projecting for 18 plus points. I think it's just a pretty clean bet in the late rounds. I've started to try to spread that around because there's a lot of similar bets in that range, but I think he's just on the best offense in the 170s, 180s.
Yeah, I do feel like it's like kind of slightly underreported that Kenneth Gainwell is no longer there anymore, because it seems like he's being treated like Kenneth Gainwell is still there. And when you swap out Kenny Gainwell for AJ Dillon, who has a completely different skill set too, with Shipley, and kind of gives him a lock even on that third down pass work, he's very intriguing. So yeah, I'm with you. I can't match your percentage on Shipley, but I love the thesis. And I know a lot of smart people too are kind of in on this idea of, the Eagles, whether it is because they play in more competitive games or the defense isn't quite as good, that they're just going to have to throw a little bit more as well. So I like that angle of what if things aren't the exact same for the Eagles. Here's our team so far. Genty and Amon-Ra at 12 and 13, scooping up the ADP values. Come back, double tap wide receiver Evans and Tet. You mentioned kind of liking the hyper dead zone strategy. Are there some running backs you tend to like at the 5-6 turn?
If Chuba or Ken Walker come back, we either got the Carolina stack or the Week 17 stack with Seattle. I'd like that. I've seen Mixon sliding into like the late 6 sometimes, so I wouldn't grab him here. But if on the front half of the board, when you see him sliding, that feels like a pretty nice value. It kind of feels like Josh Jacobs a few years ago. Yeah, Mixon and Walker do come off the board. Real quick, you can't see the board, right? You're just on your phone, so it's on. No, I can see it. I can see it when you have it on.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, because you're looking at the screen. Sorry, I couldn't, picture essentially what you're looking at in your StreamYard mobile window. Chuba does fall to us here. Chuba, Harvey, Addison, Juwan Jennings, Godwin, Trevion Henderson by ADP.
Yeah, I'd go Chuba and third in Juwan.
Love it. Perfect. RJ Harvey continues to fall. That's kind of a fake ADP. Jordan Addison is going to continue to fall with this looming suspension risk. So that's a fake ADP. And then come and grab Juwan Jennings. So here's the squad so far. Genty and Chuba, Amon-Ra, Evans, Tet, Juwan Jennings. A really nice blend of rookies and veterans there. How do you feel about the squad so far?
I like this. I like getting one San Fran player between Kittle or the 3 receivers in every draft. Ayuk's starting to slide now. I've seen him in like the 110s on DraftKings, which is, I'll take that. I think that Ayuk's kind of got that late season profile where he goes he was going in front of those 4 rookie receivers. And if he slides behind them, I'll be way more in.
Yes. I do think that is like a really interesting thing that will happen with like Ayuk is going to drop. Like we're going to get like full blown confirmation that he's going to open up on PUP and like the market will double count it again or whatever. But the market probably won't push up Jennings and Kittle, although Kittle did go at 38 in this draft. But in general, I think those guys will stay a little more static. And that is such a it just insulates Juwan Jennings even more. Like I thought he was a good pick even before I thought, Ayuk was going to miss time, and he's just such a smash at this price.
Every single fantasy tout is talking about how Kittle's the most underpriced player, and I'm like, you're blowing up my spot. I was ready to get like 25% Kittle at the 4-5 turn, but that's just not going to happen anymore.
I don't know though. Like, I mean, again, throwing out this draft where he went early, ADP of 48. He's been anchored to the 4-5 turn. I mean, I agree with you in that you wouldn't think the round 4 wide receivers would offer up that much ADP resistance, like that hard to draft, jump a JMO or DJ Moore or whatever. But I don't know. He just kind of seems anchored there in a way that I don't know if he's ever going to make a big push up.
Yeah, I think the ADP between the other two apps, I've been mostly drafting on those two as my slow puppies have been wrapping up. So, him still being at 48 on Underdog seems nice to me. I'll keep taking that as long as I can.
Yes. Let's see here too. As far as are you a bye week bro? I feel like it was a draft I did last week. Someone was like worried that we had 4 bye weeks. I was like, these bye week bros, man, they come out of nowhere when you least expect them. Chuba, Tet, and Juwan Jennings all week 14. Are you scared?
No, I keep running into it because my 3 most drafted QBs are all on the week 14 bye, so I keep running into accidentally stacking up the QB bye weeks, which is the only position where I really care about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the Bryce Young, Brock Purdy combo there, we'll keep an eye on. At the 7-8 turn here, we are about to pick. We got the 2 running backs, 4 wide receivers, no quarterbacks in sight here, although Baker probably not going to come back if you like that with Evans. Otherwise, Laporta, Shakir, Aaron Jones. Laporta goes. Shakir, Aaron Jones, Ayuk, Mooney, Mahomes, Hawkinson, Brian Robinson. How do you want to play this turn?
Yeah, I would have liked to stack up Laporta with Amon-Ra. That would have been nice.
Yeah, that would have been a nice fall there. We'll see what Joel does here after taking Kittle early in his draft. Yeah, with Ayuk sliding, this is kind of a gross range here. What do you think we do?
Mooney would have been my pick there. Can you tab onto the receivers?
Yup. Shakir, Ayuk, Kupp, Igbuka. You could do a Baker Igbuka double tap if you wanted.
You read my mind. That's what I'm feeling.
Is it? Okay. I want you to make these decisions. I'm just trying to flag some ideas here.
I've been light on Igbuka compared to the other rookie receivers in that range. I've been trying to get as much as I can recently before any Godwin pup news maybe comes out and he steams up in ADP.
Yeah. I'm laughing at Tyler's comment because I think this would be a very funny bit for instead of value hounding the howl, that you actually give a honk of the horn next time we get a very good value. I don't think we got some light values on Amon-Ra and Genty at the top. I think we're still waiting though for that, really guttural howl / honk from you.
Yeah, absolutely. I not a Shakir bro, so not hounding yet.
That's right. Well, and I also think, I always feel like Shakir has a time and place on specific teams, but ones where you already have Amon-Ra and Mike Evans and Juwan Jennings, it's like this team doesn't need Shakir. It needs an Emeka Egbuka. Easy. Did I mean to keep Memby's only messages on after the drawing? Yeah, I did. This is the Wednesday show. It's a Memby's only chat. You got to pay to play. If you want me to have to read your god awful takes, you're gonna have to at least pay $4.99 a month. I think that's just the rule, Ben.
Absolutely. This is you've got to be invested in this product.
That's right. This product. Yeah. I mean, I'm just picturing like speaking to an angel investor and he's like, so what is your product? And I say, so my product is I bring random strangers from the internet onto my YouTube stream to draft fantasy football teams with me. He's like, how is that going to scale, sir? And I'm going to say, I don't know. But it is my product. So I like your optimism with what we're doing around here.
You just gotta find enough nerds. There's enough of us out here. Between, I mostly stay in the ship chasing Discord. Between us, we're ready to pay for this product.
I will say, man, the ship chasing Discord has been awesome lately. It's like I tab in like mid morning today, and there's like 100 messages about Cam Scatabo and Tyrone Tracy, and like really productive, actionable conversation about an interesting backfield. So I always love to see what's going on in there, and like seeing you mixing it up as well.
Yeah, I always love to bring some contrarian takes to it. I'm really big on kind of a tape bro prospect profiles. So like there's certain players who I think are overpriced due to their prospect profile because they might be in a better situation. I try to avoid that.
And so like, what kind of, you call yourself a tape bro? Like what, are we talking just bombs or are we talking all 22? Like what level of tape bro are we, Ben?
So like I try to get as much all 22 as I can. The NFL Pro, I like listening to the PFF podcasts, see what they're talking about using the PFF data.
Beautiful. Also shout out to the legend Nez gifting a membership here. Appreciate you, Nez. Ben, we are about to be on the clock here at the 9:10 turn. Speak of the devil, Cam Scatabo falling a little bit. Keon Coleman following. Our guy Brock Purdy is here, although the guy on the clock took George Kittle, and he's going to let him
let him slide through to us. Scatterboys mount up.
All right. Okay, I guess we know where you're at on that. You want to go Scatabo Brock or something
Absolutely.
else?
We'll get the stacks rolling.
Beautiful. All right, we're going to grab our third running back here, Cam Scatabo. Also, week 14, I'm telling you, the bye week bros are coming. And is this a shut it down at quarterback move for you? Do you keep it open for like a Bryce Young if you go Baker and Brock here?
We'll see. We'll see how the team's looking. Definitely
Beautiful.
Gonna be a punt tight end build. See what comes back on the next turn. Oh,
yes. I noticed this as well. The Chicago accent coming up there on the mount up. Here's the team so far: 2 quarterbacks, Baker double stacked, Brock Purdy with third and Juwan. We got our 3 running backs, 2 rooks, Ashton and the Scatterboys, and then Chuba Hubbard. The other wide receivers, Amon-Ra, Evans, Tet there, and no tight end. Are we looking at a 3 tight end build here?
Absolutely. I've done a few where like I come back to this turn and I'll grab like Goddard plus Ferguson and try to shut it down at 2 there and see how that feels. And it feels like you get a luxury pick at the end, and usually I'm just still falling back on the round 17, 18 tight ends there.
As far as other Buccaneers and Niners for this team, are there guys you're interested in late? And if there are, feel free not to mention them if you don't want to telegraph them to your opponents. But do you like building out the team stacks here?
Yep. We'll see. I don't think we'll get a Rashad Whiteslide past this turn. I'd like to add him to that. Maybe if we get Otten back at 180, that's around his ADP. I've been pretty out on McMillions this year. There's been a lot of hype for both Tez and Egbuka. I think that McMillions' role with the new offensive coordinator might just vanish. He was really touchdown dependent last year, and I think I really liked his prospect profile. I drafted a bunch of them last year, but I think that he's getting phased out. So him staying in that 150 range, there's a bunch of decent receivers where you're paying for routes in that range, and I don't think he's one of them. He's more just like a contingent bet.
Nice. I like that take there. Let's see. Do you think that Tyler is asking for a honk on the Scatabo slide? Do you think Scatabo ADP of 104 to 108, is it worthy of a howl and or a honk? Or are we waiting for a bigger value?
I think I'll do both at once. We'll go for it, Scatterboys.
Hang on 1 sec. Let me let you go full screen for this. I think if we're going to do this, we need to do it. We need to do it right here. All right, let's hear it, Ben.
Oh,
I love it. I just like picturing your mom like walking out of your office, just seeing you in your car, like honking your horn and howling, and she's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I'm right outside my brother's window, so I'm expecting somebody to come out here after that and try to interrupt the stream.
That's incredible. Incredible. All right, let's see what we got cooking here. 11-12 turn. We got our 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 5 wide receivers, picks 132 and 133. Based on ADP right now, Kyle Williams, David Njoku, Hollywood Brown, Tajay Spears. I think we can click off quarterback for now at least. Besh, Ray Davis, Jaden Blue, Dalton Kincaid. We're on the clock here. What do you think?
I've been pretty into Ray Davis as one of the more expensive contingent backs. If anything happens with a holdout risk for James Cook, which I'm not really expecting, he showed a pretty nice ceiling in the 1 or 2 games he played last year without Cook. And if we tab over to tight ends, is Goddard still on the board?
Goddard's still there. Njoku is the slight slider, but Kincaid, Goddard, likely, Ferguson, all of them are here.
Yeah, I believe in drafting good players on good teams. Give me Goddard. If anything were to happen where we see an uptick in passing volume or one of Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown go down, I think Goddard's a massive value.
Okay, I do have to ask, is this a Karain type move where you're just drafting Kyle Williams solely so you can draft Drake May kind of thing? So is drafting Dallas Goedert just an excuse to draft more Will Shipley? I just have to ask the questions.
You're coming into my psyche on this one. You might be right.
Yes. Dallas Goedert, though, 133, our first tight end. We also get our 4th running back there, Ray Davis. Are you still leaving a little candle on for maybe some funny business with James Cook? Or is this still hey, I'm just happy to have the pure contingent bet at this price?
Yeah, I think that's maybe a 5 to 10% outcome. And even if just an injury happens, like we've seen with Ayuk holding out the whole offseason, you come back after not staying in shape, you're more likely to be injured. And I believed in Ray Davis as a talent. He wasn't really a dynasty bet because he was really old coming out, but he was really productive in college. So put him behind a good Bills O-line on a really, really good offense. I think he's set up to do well.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm on board with that as well. And even the nice thing about how that offense kind of works too. And I guess that the fly in the ointment is if Ty Johnson has kind of a meaningful role, then it gets tough. But if it consolidates, Ray Davis could easily have some standalone value there in that offense, some 3rd down work. So yeah, I like Ray Davis there a good bit as well. Are you a correlation bring back type bro? Are you looking at any Miami, Chicago stuff for your main stacks? Is that something you like to prioritize?
I don't really try to force it if I'm getting a good value. I kind of like Roschon Johnson. So if running backs kind of wiped out on the next turn, I wouldn't be opposed to it. We just got a little Ray Davis Goddard week 17 together.
That is true. That is true. The mini correlation everyone always forgets about. We got our 2 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 5 wide receivers through before pick 85. Tight end, really the only position we're kind of catching up on right now with Goddard as our first. But I think we're in good shape pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, I think it's turning out nice. It looks like a draft that I would do.
It's funny how that works. When we have you over here at the helm, are you going to have to explain to your mom what transpired today? Did she know that this might be happening?
Absolutely not. I just got a text from my girlfriend. Where the hell are you? So I'm expecting a text from my mom soon. Why are you still in the parking lot? You left 40 minutes ago.
Do you, I appreciate, your commitment to being dialed in. I also don't want your loved ones in your life to actually be worried about your whereabouts after this turn. Do you need to send a couple text messages?
No. Well, we're going to ride this through.
Okay. All right. Hey, let the record show, moms, girlfriends, family members. I tried to give Ben a chance to let you guys know about his whereabouts, and he passed on it. He passed. Okay. We are about to pick at the 13-14 turn. You mentioned being out on McMillan. Your guy, Roschon, you mentioned liking him. He's here. Tight ends, you said you only take good players, so I assume we're not taking Kyle Pitts at tight end. What do you think here?
No, we're gonna pass on Kyle Pitts. I'll take Roshan, and
Yep.
I've been in this range. I've been a big fan of Cedric Tillman. Before he got
Okay.
concussed last year, we've seen a pretty nice ceiling. So I think that Cleveland has somewhat of a floor having 4 quarterbacks in there, that eventually they're going to find somebody who can get the targets out there.
So I just got Roshan. We're still on the clock. And then the only thing was you're comfortable continuing to push tight end till the 15? Perfect.
Yep.
All right, we'll grab Tillman there as our 6th wide receiver. I have not selected a lot of Tillman. I don't have anything against him. I guess I'm just not normally selecting wide receivers in this range, or I'm like pulling up a Pat Bryant or a Jalen Knoll type. But I do like the idea of Tillman. I think what was the recent report? Although it said it was like Deontay Johnson's going to be playing out of the slot, and then Tillman and Judy playing out wide.
Yeah, so I really liked him coming out of Tennessee. That Tennessee offense is kind of gimmicky. We've seen the Jalen Hyatts this year. We're going to see the Dante Thornton, where they don't really have like a real NFL target tree. And we've seen Tillman, he took 1 year basically on the bench the whole time, but he came out last year, and I think the perception data on him is pretty good. So as long as he can stay healthy, I think he's a good number 2 receiver.
Yeah. I like it, but it is interesting. You were out on Njoku. I thought because of the Browns offense, but not minding it for Tillman.
No, I'm just a big fan of Goddard. So, yeah, I sprinkle in some Njoku, but I go for the Fergie or the Goddard in that range more often.
You know, I just thought maybe you were having your first ever streamer moment where it's like, hey, I'm expected to talk through this whole draft, and maybe there will be some slight cognitive dissonance surrounding one of my takes, and then the chat gets you in a gotcha moment. But I think you acquitted yourself nicely there.
Yeah, I'm also a Harold Fannin, bro. I think that he might eat into Njoku's target share a little bit compared to last year.
That's an interesting spin on that. And I know, like, when I drafted with Sean Siegel over at RotoViz, he has an extremely bullish rank on Harold Fannin. So yeah, I think that's an interesting angle to think out. You know, the David Njoku stuff. I think there's also ways that they could coexist together just because they need, weapons and pass catchers. But I like that shout.
Stefanski ran a lot of 2 tight ends when he had the bodies for it. So I think they might be top 2, 3 in 2 tight end sets in the entire league. I think there's room for Fannin to eat, but in the 18-round sites, there's better tight ends in the 18th round than him. But on the 20-round sites, it's nice to tack him on, especially with full PPR.
That's a good thing to mention before everyone comes at you for your Fannin bullishness that you're drafting him in the 20th round instead of the 18th. We're about to be drafting in the 15th and 16th round. This is a 30-second BBM, but the draft is cooking here quickly. I'll recap the team again for you before we pick. Baker and Brock Purdy at quarterback, up to 5 running backs: Genti, Chuba, Cam Scatterbo, Ray Davis, and Roshan Johnson. 6 wide receivers: Amon-Ra, Evans, Tet, Jawan Jennings, Emeka Egbuka, and Cedric Tillman. And then Dallas Goedert here. Is Cade Otton part of your draft plans if he's here?
Yeah, I've kind of hold in our last 2 picks. I think I know who I want to grab there. So I think if Gesicki slides through here, we go Gesicki and Ott, we round off our tight ends.
I like it. Wow. Is that hard for you? I'm going to put Gesicki and Otten in here. Is that hard for you to pass on one Mr. Will Shipley just sitting here right at ADP?
Oh, I know, but we'll get past it. There's a running back who we had a nice little argument in the ship chasing Discord about 2-3 days ago, who I'm happy to grab in the next round.
All right, let's double tap our tight ends here. Again, kind of showing how viable it is to go late round tight end this year when you can get a Goddard, Gesicki, and then a correlated Cade Otton all after pick 133. And then we'll head into our final 2 picks with basically a ton of flexibility to do whatever you'd like with a 2-5-6-3 build.
Yeah, I've got 2 scroll the F down players, one at receiver and one at running back, that I'm slightly above market, and they don't get drafted in every draft on. So I'm happy to make the case when we get there and not spoil my picks.
This is funny. Purple Yosh says this show really shows how solid Pete's subs are. Ben, so smooth. It might just be too smooth. Every guest I come on here knows the fantasy landscape inside and out, is well spoken, is navigating being on stream while drafting a good team. I might be sick of it. Where are all the fucking wild cards? I thought I was gonna get some real weirdos and jokers coming on here, and you guys are all just aggressively normal, great human beings. I feel like ratings are going to plummet if this keeps up, Ben.
We might have to open this up to non-members so we can get the average fantasy flock viewer up on stream with you. And, you know, they are hard-headed. Their takes are rock solid. So we're all kind of drafting with a portfolio. Last year I had 1,200 teams. This year I'm aiming to get up to 1,000 teams. You kind of can't like 0% anybody or stick to having 40% Will Shipley when you're doing so many teams. There's upside everywhere in the draft.
Lots of people in the chat vowing to bring weird energy to the stream if they win. No, and I'm completely kidding. It is awesome the fact that we can just spin a random wheel and have sharp, interesting people pop up here and draft with me, even if they started the stream with their seatbelt on. Did I just hear you click it again there?
No. I'm grabbing a water bottle.
Okay, there you go. Stay hydrated here. We got to land the plane with these final two picks. People suggesting that I should open it up to Liam streams. It'd be like a wife swap, but for Best Ball Bash, where it's just like the Liam YouTube members are who I'm drawing from. Now that would be something else. I think Liam, see, here's the thing, right? Like your audience, you're uniquely, positioned to wrangle your own audience. So Liam knows how to deal with those guys. I might just be completely ill-equipped with how to deal with the random Liam chat rat.
Oh God. I used to watch back when you guys did Splash Play together. I used to watch a bunch of Spags, and his chat just gets so toxic every time he's live. And I love how he tilts to it every time. It's wonderful.
Yes. Spags. The chat over there has gotten wild is what I have heard confirmed as well. All right, let's dial in though for these last two picks. 17 and 18 turn, 2, 5, 6, 3. What position would you like me to tab over to?
I know exactly who we're going with if they're still there. I'm going with Jordan James. I think he has a really good shot of taking the RB2 role from Isaac Rendo. I liked his prospect profile. He took work away from Bucky in college. And Grendo was losing his role to Jawar Jordan and needed 3 injuries to get on the field last year. So I really think that he's a solid dart and a good offense, and he's with our stack. And at receiver, he always got open. He just needs to catch the damn ball. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is a Week 17 stack onto our Tet. His offensive coordinator from the Saints is who went to Seattle with him. And he ate when he signed there in 2 receiver sets. I think we'll see when they're on first down, they're going to have play action shot plays drawn up where Cooper Kupp might not be on the field. We're going to see more Marquez Valdez-Scantling than we want. And he's just that spike week profile where he could go for 30 and then disappear for 3 weeks. And who cares? He gave us 30. Those points are hitting the lineup.
I like it. I don't know if I would have thought of MVS on this team. I think the only other angle I would have taken, and I feel like it's a very similar angle, was Nick Westbrook-Akine as the bring back on the Baker stuff, like a very similar type player, very similar thesis. But I like the Scantling call. It's inspired.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite clicks, especially in the 20th round. I really think that he's going to have a massive role as a blocker and as a deep threat for Seattle. And I know we don't get points for blocking, but the Kubiak tree, before we seen Olave and Shaheed get hurt last year, they were just dialing up these disgusting 2-receiver play action shots. And we seen Shaheed eat. Once he got hurt, they signed MVS, and MVS ate. I think we could see something similar this year, where maybe he's not a value in a season-long league because you don't know when to start him. But in best ball, I think he's a perfectly good 18th round dart.
Yes, he. Man, you just gave me a flashback to the beginning of last year. Remember when it was like the Saints looked like they were going to win the Super Bowl through a couple games, and he was absolutely cooking there. Or am I thinking, was that 2 years ago?
No, that was last year. I do
Wait.
a lot of futures betting, and I had money on the Bucks to win the division. And after 2 weeks, I thought the Saints were just gonna absolutely dominate. And then we seen a few O-linemen get hurt. Then we seen Shaheed and Olave both get hurt, and they fell back down to normal.
Yes, I was misremembering. For some reason, I thought when the Saints were cooking in those first 2 games last year that MVS had gone off, but I must have misremembered that. But yes,
no, he wasn't on the team yet.
Okay, that must be why. Thank you. All right, let me recap this full squad, and you give me your final thoughts. 2673 here. Thank you to everyone who entered the bash today. Everybody hanging out. We're going to have Coach Speak Index coming on in less than 10 minutes for a randomizer draft, but we need to analyze this team we just drafted here. Quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield and Brock Purdy. 6 running backs, Ashton Genty, Chuba Hubbard, Cam Scatabo, Ray Davis, Roshan Johnson, Jordan James, no Will Shipley, real disingenuous touting by my guest Ben today. 7 wide receivers, Amon Ra, Mike Evans, Tet McMillan, Jawan Jennings, Emeka Egbuka, Cedric Tillman, and MVS, the spicy little capper there to end it. And then 3 tight ends, Dallas Goedert, Mike Gesicki, Cade Otton. How do you think we did with this squad?
I think we stacked it up pretty well. We got a few of my highest exposed players, even though we didn't get the number 1. I really like this team, and I haven't gotten too many Baker stacks going, but I think, he's at the start of the window, and people are expecting touchdown regression for him, and like the Baker, the Bo Nix have kind of been lighter on. They certainly have the upside to be a top 6 quarterback.
Yeah, and this is kind of a fun one too. This type of quarterback room is one that, like, I feel you don't naturally get funneled to, right? Where it's like you're either kind of doing elite quarterback and pushing the second one, or you're doing the late quarterback thing and grabbing 2 to 3 after pick 100. So kind of getting 2 in the middle here, Baker and Brock, is kind of a fun construction there. Got a little bit of value, some nice big team bets. We started to sprinkle in some bringbacks there. You got Roshan opposite the Baker stack. I like how this turned out. We got a few rookies. Genty, the Scata boys are standing up. Egbuka and Tet. It's a solid squad, my man.
I appreciate you. This is a wonderful opportunity.
Dude, it was great getting you up here. And hopefully when you get off stream, everyone and all the ladies in your life are not worried about your whereabouts now. Do they think you're like kidnapped or on the run? What do we think the deal is?
I'm unsure. We'll have to figure that out.
I love it. What does your life look like if we ship Best Ball Mania with this team? We get 2 million. I Venmo you $1 million. What's Ben doing then?
I think I got to finish out college. I'm in nursing school right now. I think I'm still going to do that, but I might stop working 40 hours a week at the bar on the side. I might live a little more cushy, but I don't enjoy nice things. I'll probably find a way to invest it, probably give some back to the ecosystem.
Wow. Hang on. Let me piece this together. You work 40 hours a week at a bar. You're in nursing school. And you drafted 1,400 best ball teams last year, and you have a girlfriend? Is that all correct?
Absolutely. Life is fucking hectic.
I'm like, how are you juggling? How about this? Have you ever drafted a team at the bar? Like, it's a little slow. You put the phone on there. Are you kind of swiping some picks while you're whipping up drinks?
Yes, I have. I work Sunday mornings, especially during football season. But right now, Sunday mornings are pretty slow with people at church and it being finally getting nice out here in Chicago. So I'll bring my laptop in, fire off a draft or 2 while I'm opening up the bar.
Do you work during the games on Sunday or just mornings?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I work so I get off at 4 Central. So usually I get off at halftime of the second window of the games, and I'll just sit there doing homework and keep watching because I don't got Sunday ticket at home, and it's
Gotcha.
free drinks.
Wow. I was wondering, are you do you throw red zone up there at the bar? Because that's one of my biggest
Yes.
critiques of going to a
Ooh.
bar to watch football is you end up in a 45-minute discussion with the bartender who then has to go get the manager, and they got their 9 direct TV remotes and they're trying to figure out if they have red zone, and you're like, how is this not standardized at every bar in America? But you make it happen, it sounds like.
Yes, I for 4 years straight, I've been the one who makes it happen. I make sure I get the Bears up on the majority of TVs, but my back room has 10 TVs in it, so I'll have the Bears up on 2 or 3 of them, get every other game up, get Red Zone up in the corner. Uh, the the TVs that I can see from behind the bar, I set that up with 2 quad boxes, so I get every game. On the left, I get Red Zone, and on the right, I get the Bears game, so I'm in tune.
Dude, that actually sounds like the fact. So you get paid, obviously you're working, you're making drinks, but you're multitasking at just peak level efficiency of making money while getting to sweat your best ball teams. Has a patron ever kind of noticed you being, particularly invested in a game or like fist pumping a player? Or do you keep that on the low?
Yes, I have a few regulars who will come in at 11:30 and they'll be like, "Let me see your bet slip." So like I like firing off bets Saturday night, and I have a few people who are like, "Ooh, what do you got for today?" I'm like, "Okay, well, you can sweat with me today, baby."
Love it. It's a great conversation starter there. How are you feeling about the Bears this year? Do you have Ben Johnson fever? Yosh, a noted Lions fan, said it was a perfect show until you revealed that you were a Bears fan. How are you feeling about them this year?
You know, I have told everyone that I work with that I know, I'm like, don't get too excited. Don't get too excited. And then by like August every year, I'm with them. I think we're going to win the fucking Super Bowl. And it never happens. I mean, I'm so jaded. I'm a White Sox fan too, which is just
Okay.
a terrible experience.
Yeah.
So, I think like our Vegas line's at 8.5 wins. I think we beat that, but I don't think we make any noise. I don't think we're like a playoff team this year. I just hope that we see some growth because, Caleb was talked about as this generational prospect, and I know our O line sucked last year, but he made a lot of poor decisions. So I hope that the coaches aren't watching film with him. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I hope Ben Johnson fixes that, but I can't have too much hope. Otherwise, I'd
Yes.
have like 30% Caleb right now.
I feel like that should also be our best ball mantra as well. I can't have too much hope. I need just enough hope, but not too much hope that I'm miserable when it doesn't manifest.
Yep. So I'll stay around like 12% Caleb. I'm not drafting too much DJ Moore, but I like Roma Dunze to bounce back this year. I've heard a lot of good stats about like DeAndre Hopkins and people struggling in their first year and bouncing back to be fantasy relevant in their second year. So I have a lot of hope for Rome.
All right.
And
I love it. Ben, it was awesome getting to know you, getting to draft with you. Anything else you'd like to plug here? If you got a Twitter, if you just want to re-shout out your bar, I know the chat is already interested in rolling up to your spot here. Any plugs for Ben?
yeah, come see me, Wings Etc. Manuka Sundays during the games, and I will see you in Florida for the ship chasing trip.
Oh, you're gonna be there?
Hell yeah!
Incredible. Incredible. That is awesome stuff. Yeah, if you guys aren't familiar, over on Ship Chasing, we're going to be doing a meetup first weekend of August in Fort Lauderdale. We're going to do some drafting. We're going to be getting on some yachts, I believe is the plan. It's going to be a great time. If you're in the Ship Chasing Discord, there is a form in there. There's a thread if you guys want more information. And if you want to meet Ben, IRL, the legend, stoked to hear that. All right, Ben, I'm going to let you go. We're going to bring up Greg here for the randomizer. Awesome draft, Ben. We will catch you in Florida. Peace.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the randomizer.
19, 20, show off. 21, 22.
with Rouse White Pong.
Back from Bleak Cross.
I've also never heard a chard in my life.
This team might be the best in randomizer history.
Welcome to the Randomizer. Pete, take it away.
All right. It's Greg, aka the Coach Speak Index, back on the channel. We did an After Dark earlier this offseason, but we had to run back the Randomizer. How you doing, Greg?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. I've been doing these Best Ball Bash streams where a random viewer hops on to draft with me. I've been saying they've been going too well. Just too many normal, well-adjusted people. I mean, I know you come from the stand-up and improv world with me. A lot of weirdos filled in those. I'm like, where are all the weirdos? Everyone's too normal, Greg.
Yeah, a lot of weirdos. I'm sure this is probably like best case scenario of what you thought could happen. You know, the range of outcomes for this type of endeavor.
Yes, I guess what I thought that there was going to be a low floor, high ceiling, and I think what we have so far is a really high floor with these guests here. Ben was awesome, but how have you been, man? You've been streaming a ton of drafts. You've been singing karaoke. What's good in your world?
I've been great, man. It's NFL season, and I mean that actually like really never stops anymore. Like the Super Bowl is over, and we have end of season press conferences. We have the pre-NFL draft press conferences. We have the post-NFL draft press conferences. It's almost every week of the year now. I love it. I love the NFL.
And you famously are watching all of these press conferences. Is it like a steady stream of like the amount of press conferences you can expect now? Or does it actually just kind of like increase the closer we get to the season? Yeah,
it'll increase during training camp. There's a lot around the NFL draft, and then during OTAs we get a good amount of press conferences every week. Right now is kind of a break where we're not getting a lot over the next like 4 or 5 weeks because a lot of teams are off, but then they'll be coming back July 22nd. Most of them, some of them a little bit earlier with the rookies, but there's really not much of a break in press conferences.
I guess I never asked, are you watching all of these on your laptop, or do you have just like some monster TV that you cast all of these onto so you can see it in its full, glory?
I watch them on my phone.
Really?
Yeah, because
then you're on your computer typing or whatever?
No, I watch them on my phone on YouTube, and then I have my notes app on the phone, and so it's kind of like picture-in-picture thing, right? Like minimizing the YouTube, and then I'm just transcribing the important notes. And then, once I'm done transcribing whatever, I'll go back to the press conference, open it up in full on my phone and just put my thumb on it and have it at 2x. I'm just very good at, I'm very good at listening at 2x now. Maybe it's all the like British films that I've watched, like Ken Loach stuff where I could just pick up, even if they're talking fast, even if they're talking with a heavy accent. Luckily none of these NFL coaches have heavy accents, so it's really easy to just 2x through there. And then when I come up on something that's like, oh shit, this is a valuable piece of information, slow it down to 1x, go back to the picture-in-picture, and just put it into the notes while I'm listening to it.
There you go. That's how the sausage gets made, folks. Real quick, because we don't have private drafts available, we do just have to hop into a public $3 draft here. But the good news is I jumped in and there were 11 spots left, which means we can essentially make this all friends and family. Looks like we need 9 spots, 8 spots. You guys are all filling this up right now. If you just go to the draft lobby, and I'll get it up on screen here in case you guys don't know exactly the spot I am referencing. I'll put Greg and I up here. There we go. So yeah, if you just go down here, 2025 NFL season, $3 draft, it's this one. This 12-person prize is $32. And that way, Greg, we won't ruin Best Ball Mania with whatever picks we end up having to make on this show.
Yeah, and somebody's going to win that sweet $32.
Yes, exactly. It in previous years for the randomizer, I had someone, and this was like a crazy amount of effort for so little payoff, but they manually put all of the rosters into like a My Fantasy League and then looked at all of the rosters and how they were faring against each other throughout the season, like a tournament of champions for the randomizer.
Wow, it's like the old rotisserie days where they gathered in the deli and just like manually went through boxes.
Yes, the old deli days. All right, we have the 110 in this randomizer draft. It's not as hard as having the 111 or 112, but still a degree of difficulty, as you might remember, having to get through multiple prompts within a short amount of time. Are you ready to embark on this journey for the second year in a row?
Like a former presidential candidate from Texas said, I was born for this.
You were born for this. I will say, we might have upped a little bit of the singing prompts this year. Before I spin the first wheel, how have the karaoke streams been going? You've been doing some themed ones, I saw.
Yeah, man, they've been really fun. I've been singing so many songs that I've never sung before at karaoke or anywhere. Just songs that I like and are somewhat in my wheelhouse. But like the Coen Brothers stuff yesterday, super fun to sing that.
Love it. All right, first prompt. Let's just get this rolling. Cardboard Kings 2, Return of LeBron. Cue the next Viking. In homage to last year's response to this prompt, Greg must retrieve a piece of LeBron James memorabilia from his collection to take who he wants. So this is a little sequel here. I'm going to let Greg go. I got to put in who's going to be the top Viking. It's going to be Jordan Addison is going to be who's going to sit in the queue here. Little Easter egg for those of you who watched last year's randomizer with Greg. Greg used to work, I believe, at a sports memorabilia / card shop. One of the things I've learned about Greg over the past couple of years is how many like random interests and jobs and things he has had over the course of his life. I feel like I think I called him the most interesting man in fantasy. A true Renaissance man. And I'm excited to see what piece of LeBron James memorabilia he comes back with here. And I'm probably going to need to do is spin here again. And I will say to everyone in the chat, feel free to draft as fast as you want. Okay. Is that a Miami Heat jersey with a little improvised James there? Look at. Okay. No, I guess, he played on the Heat, so we can, I can make that work.
Read it and weep, suckers.
Okay. Real quick. Who do you want with this pick? You don't have to take Jordan Addison, and then we'll spin quickly for the next one. Neighbors, Genty, Amon-Ra, Nico, Brian Thomas. Who's your guy?
Neighbors would be my guy.
All right. If Willis takes Neighbors, who do you want as your contingency pick?
I think Brian Thomas Jr.
All right, I'm just going to put those two in the queue, and we are going to spin for this next one here. While this is spinning, it looks like Neighbors made it, so we'll grab Neighbors here for you. What do we have here? Interpretive route movement. Cue DeAndre Hopkins. Until the next pick, Greg and Pete must provide an interpretive dance to R. Kelly's I Believe I Can Fly that demonstrates drills a possession receiver might do to prepare for flying over defenders to take who Greg wants. Okay, let me get Hopkins in the queue here. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Think about you every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I don't remember the second verse. Do you remember the second verse?
I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. Woo.
Beautiful. My introduction to that song, Greg, I believe was on the Space Jam soundtrack when it initially came out in like 1994.
I'm not allowed to sing that song at karaoke anymore. People,
why is that?
People said you just can't sing R. Kelly anymore. They said Michael Jackson, you can sing. R. Kelly, you cannot sing.
Feels like some arbitrary goalposts there.
What? This girl told me it's just a matter of what the courts have said.
Okay. Wow. I was not familiar with this, that this is actual like universal karaoke law.
Well, I mean, it's the law in the drawing room in Los Feliz in Los Angeles.
Okay. All right. You're on the clock here. You do get to pick whoever you want. Amon Ra, AJ Brown, H.N. Bowers. What do you like?
Yeah. Amon Ra. Both show.
All right. Amon Ross slips here to pick 15. Of all the stuff you do, what's the most fun for you? Do you like kind of becoming a fantasy analyst? You got a lot of people kind of relying on not only the information you're sharing, but now kind of getting your spin on how to interpret it, because that's a big part of this. It's like, should you actually do something with this coach speak or not? So are you enjoying that aspect of it?
I mean, I could honestly do without any sort of like idolization or whatever, which like I get, because there are people in this space and other industries who I've idolized, right? You kind of put them on a pedestal and forget sometimes that, hey, this is just like a regular person. So that stuff doesn't really matter to me. I mean, the most fun thing to me is just like, no one can tell me what to do. No one can like lay me off, right? I put in the work. I built this thing. I know how to do it. I know how to run it, and I don't have to be afraid of like speaking out on something and then seeing repercussions of that. Like I don't have to worry about a certain outlet maybe not hiring me to do fantasy content for them in the future. Like I'm good. You know, I built this. I'm fine for the rest of my life now.
Well,
so, yeah,
that's all good and well until you get canceled for singing R. Kelly on my stream. So did you think through that element?
Oh man, you got me. You got me.
The long con. You know, I got paid off by some of you know your various competitors. They said, get Greg to sing R. Kelly on your stream. And so, you know, everybody has a price, and you know, I got paid handsomely for it. No, just kidding. No, you do a great job with it, and I think it just comes with the territory. As you get bigger, you know, people are going to want more and more of you. Oh boy, this prompt is called Rickroll. We are going to queue up Kyle Pitts. And this comes from Emo Cowboy in the chat here. Greg and Pete sing a verse of Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up to take who they want. So I assume we do not want to take Kyle Pitts here. No. Let's put him in the queue. Maybe we can get some lyrics up here for have you ever sang this at karaoke?
I have not. It would be funny to just sing it in the middle of somebody else's song.
that would where you just kind of interrupt them. Maybe that's
I have my own mic.
Sings R. Kelly, and then you come on.
Yeah.
Say, okay, here we go. Let's see. Where do you want to start?
We can start anywhere, man.
All right. Let's take it away here.
We gotta do a verse, right?
Yeah. Let's start with I won't never give you up. No, never give you up. No, I won't never give you up. Never give you up. No, no. Are you going to help me here, Greg?
Is that the chorus? Is that the chorus that you're doing?
No, I was just
the verse. Okay.
No, yeah. And I won't let you get me down.
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy.
Do you want Terry McLaurin or Josh Allen? Who would you like to take?
Let's do Josh Allen.
You got Terry McLaurin because I didn't get it in time.
Never gonna give you that big contract that you're looking for. You're just too old, Terry. Sorry.
You can keep catching those bombs from your guy JD, but you're never gonna hit a 25% target share. All right, hang on. Let's go here. All right, the most interesting team in the world. We're gonna cue Tyler Higbee in the style of Corona's most interesting man ads. Greg must give an endorsement of a team from a division he doesn't always watch, but when he does, he prefers this team to take who he wants here. So let me get Higbee in the queue here. Let's see your most interesting man in the world, Dos Equis ad for a division where you want to draft a player from.
The heart of the South. Panthers. Can you guess what?
I think so.
Sexy Panthers. Silky and slithering through the night. No primetime games last year, but this year that changes. We will keep pounding in 2025. Is he gone? Oh my God, he's gone.
You gotta recover unless you want to make a case for Jalen Coker at 4-3.
Goodbye, Detroit. Hello, Chicago. New capital of smash mouth football and slot receivers being the focal point of your offense. Maybe not everyone's cup of tea, but for this man's cup of tea, he wants more. DJ Moore.
Greg doesn't always watch the NFC North, but when he does, it's because he wants more of DJ. There we go. DJ Moore, come on down. That's the tricky part of the randomizer. You leave the station trying to accomplish a prompt, and then the player gets sniped, and then you're in trouble. I guess you could have gone Chuba. You could have gone Chuba there to save it.
Yeah. I just love T-Mac this year, man.
Yeah. What's the latest coach speak on T-Mac? Are they hyping him up?
Yeah. Dave Canales cannot stop talking about how he attacks the ball with his hands, like how he comes back to the ball, and that is a quarterback's best friend. Like the friendliest target for a quarterback is a receiver who will like come back and attack it with his hands. They love that about him. Obviously, they love the like body control and fluidity that he exhibits, which we just saw, one of those training camp clips that everyone went crazy over where he makes that catch in traffic. And at 6'4", what's he like 210, whatever. Just man, he's great. He's just a perfect fit for that offense, for Canales, for Bryce Young. I think he's going to smash there.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. I remember like when before his kind of draft stock had, dropped a little bit, like Panthers is where I wanted him to go. And then it was like, oh, he's going to fall outside of the top 15. And you're like, okay, that dream died. And the Panthers just played it cool. It sounds like they wanted him all along. So yeah, I'm with you, Tet, one of my most drafted receivers. Let's spin this wheel though for the 4-5 turn. And in this draft room, you guys feel free to keep picking quickly. Make us squirm here if it gets a little too comfortable. Ooh, this prompt, another throwback to last year. Remember Rudman? Cue Nick Mullins. Greg must tweet at the Nick Rudman regarding his recent workout incident. Always remember to wear a helmet when riding your bike. I think it'd be funny if you replied to the actual tweet. Did you see the tweet of his face all battered up?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me pull this up too in case people haven't seen it. And by the way, seeing this on Twitter here, immediately following this, I'm going to be doing a draft with Greg over on his channel. So if you guys want some more of that, here is the photo right here. So then the text was, always remember to wear a helmet when riding your bike.
Hold on. Sorry. What date is that?
This date here, I'll drop it in the private chat. It is from June 10th.
Okay.
June 10th. There it is if you need it. And who was I supposed to put in the queue as the punishment? Oh, Nick Mullins. All right, Nick Mullins is in the queue in case we don't get this tweet off in time. Man, just Nick Rudman. I still am trying to figure out how your head could hit the fan bike, because I literally have the same fan bike that he does, and he just works out harder than me because I don't know how this happens. All right, let's see if you can get this tweet off in time.
Yep. Done.
Okay. All right, here we go. Who do you want to pick since you got this off? Calvin Ridley, Kamara, Burrow, Roma Dunze, Addison, Jawan Jennings, Godwin. Oh no, yeah, we're good. We're on.
Let's do Kamara.
All right, we'll grab Kamara. I'm going to put him in the queue here. I'm going to retweet your comment here. You didn't do the prompt. Hang on, I have to give you Nick Mullins.
Oh no,
sorry. See the chat. Look, I let my guests off easy, but the prompt was you had to reply. Always remember to wear a helmet when riding your bike.
Oh, okay. Damn.
That's okay. Hey, I think this is the head of someone who's late days favorite Twitter. That is a good burn. I will give it a retweet, but the chat will crush me if I don't uphold a punishment.
Letter of the law.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay, coach or coach. This is a multimedia prompt here. Cue future coach Tim Boyle. Greg must identify whether images are of a coach handbag, the brand coach, or an NFL head coach. So let me move quickly here and put Boyle in the queue, and then I'm going to pull up some images here. Are you familiar with coach handbags? I know you're a man of style and taste.
I'm familiar with them.
Okay, here's the first one. Is this an NFL coach or a coach handbag here on screen?
That's an NFL coach.
This is a coach handbag there. Okay, 0 for 1. Number 2, is this an NFL coach or a coach handbag?
That's an NFL coach.
That is correct. This is Coach Tomlin, a piece of his sweater right there. Is this a coach bag or an NFL coach?
Oh, wow. I mean, it's obviously denim. Let's say it's a coach bag.
I think that's a great read there. I was trying to be like, which NFL coaches would wear that much denim?
Yeah.
All right, you're 2 for 3. NFL coach or coach bag?
That looks like a shoulder sleeve. NFL coach.
Man, you are on top of this. It is, in fact, Zach Taylor's sleeve there. Final one. You're 3 for 4. Is this a coach bag? Or
that looks like a shirt, little button area on a polo. I'm gonna say it's a coach.
Can't get anything past you, Coach Dan Campbell's shirt right there. 4 of 5. Well done there. You get to draft whoever you want. You don't have to take Tim Boyle. Who would you like?
I like Kamara if he's there. He's gone.
He just went.
Let's take Travion.
Trevion Henderson here as your 6th pick. This is the team so far. Trevion Henderson at running back, Neighbors, Amon-Ra, Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore, and then the elephant in the room, Nick Mullins, as your only quarterback so far.
Is that his that's his nickname, right? If you go to Pro Football Reference.
Exactly. Nick Mullins, sometimes these prompts, the guests have been so good and the prompts have been attainable. And so people are building these juggernaut teams on the randomizer. So it's nice to see someone come back down to earth with a Nick Mullins selection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we'll see who's laughing when he starts all 17 games. You saw some of those coaches up there. Who are the most well-dressed coaches in the league? Obviously, a lot of them have similar attire, but does anyone stand out? Matt LaFleur and Kyle Shanahan, I would say, clean up pretty nice. See them out at events. We saw the picture and video of Kyle Shanahan with Rick Ross at that party I think he hosted at his house last year. Yeah, those two guys just kind of off the top of my head. Always looking pretty nice. LaFleur has really good style.
Well, and there's 2 elements to it, right? It's like, one, actually having style where you wear some, nice clothes, but then there's also just wearing NFL apparel that actually fits you, right? Like not having baggy shirts. It's like, if you could actually because even someone like Mike McDaniel, I feel maybe it's because he's so small. I feel like everything always looks super baggy on him.
Yeah. Well, I think he buys his clothes at 1 or 2 sizes too big. So that might factor into it a little bit. But yeah, you know what? When McDaniel is dressing formal for an event, he looks pretty sharp. Yeah,
that's a good call there. And we don't have a single NFL coach who wears like a really deviates from the overall uniform on game day. We don't really have a blazer wearing NFL head coach, do we?
No, not anymore. I think the last one was what was his name? Mike Nolan for
Yeah.
the Niners. He used to wear like a full suit and tie on the sidelines.
Yeah. I feel like someone should bring that back. It's like, yeah, there you go. That's like a good brand play. Like, how out of place does that look now? Just seeing someone with a suit and tie.
I mean, the thing is, you'd have to be such an amazing coach because people would just dunk on you constantly if you're like a 4-13 coach wearing this get up.
The funny thing is, it's like, it looks so out of place that it seems like he has to go to a funeral right after the game. And he's just like, I'm not going to have time to change. So I just figured I'd wear this outfit today.
It looks like the owner fired the coach mid-game and went with the headset.
All right. Next prompt here. Underdog index. Cue the next available lion. Greg provides a soundbite on a player that is getting steamed up on Underdog, but is more affordable on other best ball sites or formats. If chat agrees, take whoever. Okay, this is an interesting thing. Is there an Underdog steamy player who other sites haven't caught up to here that you can think of?
I mean, it could be Miles Sanders. Like, what's the soundbite that I need to provide? Is it just like a quote that a coach said?
Yeah, it could be something from minicamp or a coach.
Let's go straight to the Coach Speak Index Discord. And Brian Schottenheimer on June 3rd said, I don't know why anybody would be surprised with Miles Sanders' ability. You talk about a guy that's a home run threat, a guy that's got incredible ability to hurt you running and catching the ball out of the backfield. He's the right type of guy. He fits into what we're trying to build as a culture from a work ethic standpoint.
Okay. And because Sanders, he was going undrafted for a while. His ADP is up to 193 now on Underdog. I am admittedly not too familiar with his ADP on the other sites, but you think I guess you do have Underdog drafters in general are way more news hounds than they are on other sites. Okay. Who do you want to take here, assuming the chat agrees with this Miles Sanders thesis, which I think is pretty clear? Who do you want at this juncture of the draft?
I mean, we could probably use another running back here, right?
Got Pollard, Aaron Jones, Brian Robinson, Jordan Mason, Jaden Reed, Shakir Diggs are the wide receivers. Tight ends kind of wiped. Hawkinson's here. Quarterback's kind of wiped.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably Pollard here.
Yeah. Pollard makes sense. Pair him up with Trevion Henderson. We'll see what Willis does. All right. I'm going to put Pollard in the queue, and I'm going to spin the wheel for us here and see how much time we need for this. And you're feeling pretty good about Nick Mullins as your okay. This is a prompt for me.
Ooh, all right.
What's my age again? Cue Amari Cooper. Here, first I'm going to get you Tony Pollard. The chat knows how awful I am at singing in karaoke, that apparently they want to punish me, but joke's on them because I know a little Blink 182 from my day. So it's if cue Amari Cooper, if Pete can make it through this song before the next pick, take whoever. Okay, I forgot this was a speed thing. All right, let me go. Okay, here we go. I got to get my nasally Blink 182 voice. I took her out. It was a Friday night. I wore cologne to get the feeling right. We started making out and she took off my pants. But then I turned on the TV and that's about the time she walked away from me. Nobody likes you when you're 23 and are still more amused by TV shows. What the hell is ADD? My friends say I should act my age. What's my age again? What's my age again? Oh God, you guys are ripping here. Hang on. Then later on the drive home, I called her mom from a payphone. I said I was the cops and your husband in jail. This state looks down on sodomy. And that's about the time the bitch hung up on me. Nobody likes you when you're 23 and are still more amused by prank phone calls. What the hell is ID? My friends say I should act my age. What's my age again? What's my age again? God, there's another verse. This is going to be so close. And that's about the time she walked away from me. Nobody likes you when you're 23 and you still act like you're in freshman year. What the hell is wrong with me? My friends say I should act my age. What's my age again? No one should take themselves so seriously. Please stay with me. With many years shared to fall in line. Please stay with me. Why should you wish that on me? I never want to act my age. Please stay with me. What's my age again? What's my age again? What's my age again? What do you want to do, Greg?
Aaron Jones. Nice. Well done.
Okay. I need a breather. Aaron Jones.
You need to take off your pants and jacket.
I mean, I'm about to here. Yeah, David Kitchen revealed yesterday on the Swolecast that he was broadcasting without any underwear on. So it's been done here. Were you a Blink-182 fan back in the day?
I was. That was a group. So like in the whole cult thing, you know, starting to kind of get out around like 20 or so. And yeah, Blink-182 was a band that I would kind of, you know, sin by listening to, because I had friends who were kind of on their way out who were really into Blink-182.
Dude, I was the same way. Not the cult thing, but my parents were not fans of Blink-182, and it was like what the cool kids, you know, would have the CDs, and you'd get to like listen to it at recess. But there was no way in hell my mom was letting me listen to that. And now you think about like, I guess that it never dawned on me that kids these days with just access to YouTube and Spotify or whatever, like you don't actually have to sneak by a CD. You just have the access to all the world's music. We used to have to work hard to listen to the bad music.
That's right. I mean, you had to go buy the CD or have someone burn it for you. And then there's that thing of when there's a new song that you were really into, you would go and you would buy the album not knowing the rest of the songs and like how good the entire album is. And so you just have a bunch of CDs where it's like one good song on there.
Yeah, for sure. I think I did a lot of those with like hip hop artists where you'd like hear the song, you'd buy the whole CD and it's like a bunch of skits on there and you're like,
yeah. Oh my God. The skits. Out of control with the skits, and just like really messes up if you have it in like an iPod shuffle.
Yes. It's completely out of context.
Lil Wayne skit.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see here. The most interesting stan in the world. Cue the next available running back. Greg must argue for why a well-known fan of his choosing, it could be Fireman Ed, or if there's any others that come to mind, is the most interesting one in the world to take who he wants. Can we think of any other, like, who are famous fans? We have Rob Lowe in his NFL hat. Any other famous fans you can think of? There used to be Barrelman for the Broncos was a big one.
There's the Chargers woman from last year. Was it last year or the year before?
The Chargers, the Asian lady?
Yeah, who's like also a Vikings fan.
Yes. I remember her being very popular here. So let's see. Do you want to make the case for why one of these fans is the most interesting one in the world?
That Chargers fan is the most interesting fan. And like, remember the news cycle that we got out of that first when, you know, during the game broadcast of just like how drawn in people were to this woman, and then finding out that, you know, she used to be a Vikings fan, and then people were like, "Oh my God, she's a fake. She's an actor. She's a Los Angeles actor who is acting like she likes the Chargers." Yeah.
Yes, a real longtime Chargers fan and mother of four who also enjoys watching her sporting events. She's been a Chargers season ticket holder for a while. Hang on 6 seconds though. Who do you want to take? Keon Coleman, Trey Harris, Brock Purdy, Tyrone Tracy.
Let's do Keon Coleman.
All right. Sorry. I at the very last second, I put a quarterback in the queue for you just to make sure
all good.
Nothing bad happened. But it ended up being your favorite pick was the guy at the top of the queue. So I should not have intervened. Yes, that was the other thing. There were people who thought she was a paid actor. Planned. Okay, what do we have here? The Sing Speak Index. Q Will Shipley. Greg picks a karaoke song of his choosing to do his best William Shatner talk singing impersonation to Take Who He Wants. So I'm going to put Shipley in the queue. First, tell me which song you would like me to queue up here.
Let's do Bang Bang by Nancy Sinatra.
Okay. And I need to share this as a Chrome tab so I can get the audio here. And then the last part of it is the as William Shatner.
The final part of it?
It says, so you're going to do your best William Shatner talk singing impersonation to Take Who He Wants.
For the whole song.
I think just to this you can do a little improvising.
I was 5 and he was 6. We rode on horses made of sticks. He wore black and I wore white. He would always win the fight. Bang, bang. He shot me down. Bang, bang. I hit the ground. Bang, bang. That awful sound. Bang, bang. My baby shot me down.
All right, now give me the William Shatner of who you want to take here while this song plays.
I don't know who's available.
Okay, Trey Harris, Tyrone Tracy, Travis Etienne.
Trey Harris is the man who I would like to put down in my logbook as having on my team the next generation of Los Angeles Chargers wide receivers. Bang, bang, that awful sound. Bang, bang, I used to shoot you down.
You're just too good at this karaoke thing. It's even hard for you to get into the like really gravelly William Shatner because you're just too much of a pro when it comes to karaoke.
Have you ever heard the William Shatner being directed in a commercial?
No.
Audio.
We need to watch.
Oh man, it's wild. I think it's just audio, but they're like giving him direction on how on this line reading, and he's not having it. You know, he's a seasoned actor, and he's not having some producer intern tell him how to record it.
Hang on, let me see real quick
Yeah.
if this is. We could just watch a few seconds before
Sure.
we have to worry about this next pick. Tell me if this is it.
All right, I got to play you this. This is William Shatner in a recording session. It's just so great. It really goes on a while, too.
At what you hear. Okay?
Can there be a little more excitement in the beginning?
I love it. Okay. All right.
It sounded like really laid, really super laid back.
Well, I'm saying, okay, I'll try and do that. Let's take two. This is William Shatner, and I would like to invite you to take a journey with me into the 21st century. So take the next few minutes and listen very closely. Speak up. And maybe you better do it the way you hear it. Do it for me. No, I mean, just go ahead.
This is William Shatner, and I would like to invite you to take a journey with me into the 21st century. So take the next few minutes and listen very closely. You'll be amazed at what you hear.
Is that the way you'd like me to do it? Okay, I'll do it that way. Okay, ready. This is William Shatner, and I would like to invite you to journey with me into the 21st. Every paragraph, and you'll send it back to town, and you'll see whether I hope it will please everybody else. As long as I'm pleasing you, that's all that matters.
Oh my goodness, that is great. That was like the Leone had just shared on Twitter yesterday. I guess Robert De Niro was on Fallon and just was not giving Fallon like anything, just completely stonewalling him. I love those moments.
Yeah, like the Joaquin Phoenix David Letterman interview.
Yes. Yeah. And it's one thing, like Fallon is just like such a goofball that he can kind of just like get past it. But Letterman just being such a curmudgeon, it's just like, oh man, who's gonna win this one? Okay. Coach spoke index. Q Shadur Sanders. Greg must connect 2 of 3 quotes with the coaches who said them to take who we want. So this is another multimedia one we have here. Let me get Shadur in the queue and I will pull up these quotes. As usual, shout out to our randomizer production team. We got Matt Wood writing a ton of prompts, Lou helping us out here, and of course Nick in the hopper. Thank you guys for making this show happen. Let's see here. Okay, so these are 3 coaches in 3 quotes, and you need to connect which one said which. So we have Dion, Pete Carroll, Mike McDaniel. Here's the first quote. Equally excited for you guys to truly take in how physically imposing I am. The next quote is, this ain't new to me. I'm not new to this. Like we say in the hood, I'm true to this. And it's like playing with your kids. I like competing with my kids too. It feels kind of the same. Can you piece these together?
Yeah. Okay. So Deion Sanders, like we say in the hood, I'm true to this. Equally excited for you guys to truly take in how physically imposing I am is Mike McDaniel being self-deprecating. And then Pete Carroll is it's like playing with your kids.
Let's see here. That is correct there. I guess it would have been like, the funny thing is Mike McDaniel is such a jokester that you could have seen him say like the hood thing. So that was a good red herring there. But
I like it being next to Pete Carroll. Just Pete Carroll. Saying that.
Okay. You get to pick who you want, and then we will spin here for the 12th round pick. So you have Nick Mullins and Brock Purdy at quarterback. You have Trevion Henderson, Pollard, Aaron Jones at running back, and 5 wide receivers: Neighbors, Amon-Ra, McLaurin, DJ Moore, and Trey Harris. Let's see here. Tight ends are available: Loveland, Njoku. You got Herbert with Harris, Hollywood Brown, Spears, Besh.
I think we probably take Herbert here.
Yeah. Get him stacked up.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to put him in the queue. Just give us a little extra time depending on what this next prompt is. Let's see here. Don't speak index. Q Romeo Dobbs, aka Doubts, Romeo Doubts, or backup. Greg must sing a verse of No Doubts Don't Speak, while Pete voices over players that he doesn't want you to talk about for fear of being mushed. Are you familiar with this song?
I'm not super familiar. I mean, I know it's like Gwen Stefani, right?
Yeah. Let me get some of the lyrics up for you here.
I know how the chorus goes.
Let me actually let's see if we can get a karaoke track here. Don't speak karaoke. All right.
Oh yeah, I got the Sing King.
Okay. A Sing King, the famous
They're a pretty good one.
Okay, let me get this up here. All right, here we go. All right. Is this you? You and me? We used to be together.
Together. Every day together. Always.
Please.
I really feel
Don't
that
talk
I'm
about
losing my best friend.
Don't
Can't
talk about
believe
Ray
this
Davis.
could be the end.
We just selected Ray Davis with my best ball bash guest.
You're letting go.
And please do not talk about Jalen McMillan.
Real. I don't want to know.
You already had to spend a lot of money to reverse the curse on Jalen McMillan last year.
What you're saying.
Shh, Greg, don't speak.
Complaining. Don't tell me cause it hurts.
I'd say don't speak about Dalton Kincaid, but you don't have to worry about that. He'll mush himself.
What you're thinking. I don't need your reasons. Don't tell me cause it hurts.
Don't speak about Jaden Blue. I've been taking way too much from Jaden Blue. We can't afford for you to
can
mush
be
Jaden.
inviting, but some are altogether mighty frightening.
Okay. Real quick before I accidentally have you time out on another pick. Well done there. Singing No Doubt. All right, you're on the clock. Loveland, Hollywood Brown, Besh, Ray Davis, Tucker Kraft.
Let's do Loveland.
Loveland.
Get a little
Loveland,
in,
a
actually.
little ADP value there.
Value hound? Are we value hounding?
Yeah, you want to give it a little how you feeling about these Bears rookies right now? Obviously, Luther Burden falling a little bit because of that soft tissue. I don't believe he's been practicing for a while. How are we feeling about the Bears rooks?
Yeah, Ben Johnson said that he expects Luther Burden at training camp to be ready kind of at the start there, just being kind of cautious with him right now. But as he mentioned, this is valuable time for a rookie to be practicing and learning the offense. So that's a little bit concerning when we, think about how slot receiver is the focal point of Ben Johnson's offense, as he has stated. And that's kind of the role that we want Luther Burden in. It'd be nice if he was able to practice. Colston Loveland, they expected to be out for a while. But 10th overall pick on him. I mean, they have a vision for him. They have big plans for Colston Loveland. And it's part of this whole raise Caleb Williams passing EPA thing that Ben Johnson is wanting to do because he knows that's more valuable. He said this thing about used to we look at turnovers on offense as kind of the indicator of whether you would win the game or not, but really it's passing EPA from your QB. So what we want to do is raise that, and we're going to do that through, we're not going to take a lot of shots downfield. It's going to be a lot of the intermediate stuff and a lot of the yak stuff. And then we see them draft Colston Loveland. We see them draft Luther Burden. So they're putting their money in draft capital where their mouth is.
Man, that just makes me think, how far have we come for what did it used to be when NFL coach would be like, when we run the ball 40 times, we are 16-1. Like that was the thing, as like not even understanding the causation correlation fallacy there. And now we got guys shouting out how they want to hit a certain EPA number to help them win games.
That's great. I love it.
All right, let's spin the wheel here. We're in round 13. Let's see what we got here. Fantasy Industrial Complex. Cue Patrick Laird, my guy. Pete and Greg make a case for why both should take Laird in the 15th plus round as just a friend to take who they want. Okay, all right. Look at this. Are you a Patrick Laird fan like me, Greg?
Patrick Laird fan. I don't have his jersey, but pretty big Laird fan. I know that the Laird Bowl is between Miami and Tampa Bay here in week 17. I'm aware of that.
There you go. I mean, I think Patrick Laird still very well connected in NFL circles, very well respected, well liked there. There's an injury in camp. I mean, who's the first guy you call? I think you call up Patrick Laird, someone you can trust in pass protection. He can come play a little special teams for you if you have a hole there. I think this is a versatile athlete that every single team should have on speed dial right now.
And most importantly, he's going to give us uniqueness when we take him, because not a lot of people are drafting him. And when you're getting into these later rounds, that's really what kind of you're looking for is uniqueness.
For sure. And I mean, we're at the point in the draft where, all of these guys are pretty similar. It's a long, flat tier. I mean, are we really sacrificing that much by taking Patrick Laird over Isaac Guerendo? I'd argue that they're essentially the same likelihood of being a league winner in 2025. Okay, you get to take whoever you want, because I feel pretty sold on Laird there. So who do you want to take?
Yeah. Who's the top there? Is it Guerendo?
Guerendo, Algier. We do have Brock Purdy on this team.
Sure. Let's take Guerendo.
All right, we'll take Guerendo there, even though he's just the same as Patrick Laird. I actually think we're going to do a podcast with Laird again here soon. Awesome. Davis was trying to get that going. We can catch up on him. All right, let's see our next thing here. 500 miles. Speaking of Miles Sanders, cue Miles Sanders. Pete sings a verse of the Proclaimers. I'm going to be 500 miles, while Greg makes a case for Sanders making 500 plus yards this season to take whoever. This one comes compliments of Sacrilegious. All right, let me get the karaoke track up, because that has been fun to have. And are you going to be prepared to make the case?
Yeah.
Okay. Karaoke. All right, let's do this. Let me get this up on screen. We're going to the Sing King again.
Yes, sir.
If you'd like to sponsor Greg's karaoke, do you just download the, like, how do you do your karaoke?
I just save them to a playlist, and then I'll play that playlist. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, here.
All right. So this really could not be easier, and it's
when I wake up.
A few components.
Well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you.
Backfield.
When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you.
In football,
if I get drunk, well, I should let you talk.
An opportunity, and did absolutely nothing with it. No one had a better situation than Javonte Williams last year. Absolutely nobody else in that backfield.
But I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more just to be the running back who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at Jerry's door. I'm working
down pass protection back. Miles Sanders is the clear back in this backfield.
Beautiful stuff. Shit, we're on the clock. Do you want Miles Sanders? Because you're gonna get him.
No. Did I get him?
You did.
Oh, he was going to go for 500 plus.
Sorry.
Oh, good.
While I enjoyed doing karaoke to that song, I think we learned that the broadcast system cannot handle two people talking into the mic at the exact same time. Okay. What is your favorite? I think you've said this before, but what is your favorite karaoke track of all time?
Etta James at Last.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sing that one in karaoke, crush that one, and boy, people are bowing down, going nuts.
Does your regular karaoke hotspot, do they know that you've taken your karaoke talents to the internet?
A couple people there do, just friends of mine, but people in general there know. I don't think many of them are into fantasy football, so they could not give less of a shit, I think.
Is it I assume in LA too the quality of karaoke is pretty high just because you have so many aspiring actors, performers? Is that a case? The quality is pretty good?
Oh yeah, for sure. There I mean, I've done karaoke there at that bar with Evan Rachel Wood. Drew Carey has come through to do karaoke there. Laura Prepon, she sang Say It Ain't So, and I was in the back singing That 70s Show.
That's hilarious.
Good night.
Okay, we have another multimedia prompt here. This is called Kings and Queens. We're going to cue the next Viking, and Greg must determine whether lyrics are from a song sung by B.B. King or the band Queen. If you get 3+ correct, you can draft whoever. Are you familiar with the catalogs of B.B. King and Queen?
A little bit with Queen. I'm familiar with B.B. King's music, but not really like the lyrics.
Well, let's see what we can do here. First one, you only live but once, and when you're dead, you're gone. Do you think this was B.B. King or Queen?
I think that's Queen.
Let's see here. B.B. King, Let the Good Times Roll. Let's keep these rolling here. I try, but everybody wants to put me down.
All right, that's Queen.
That is correct. Bohemian Rhapsody there, third. It's gone away for good. Someday I know I'll be over it all.
B.B. King?
That is correct. From The Thrill Is Gone. I think you are now, 2 for 3? Dynamite with a laser beam guaranteed to blow your mind.
It's got to be Queen.
Correct. Killer Queen. And last one here. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on as if nothing really matters.
Queen.
And correct. Bohemian Rhapsody. Nice. I think you went 4 for 5 there. So you don't have to take Jalen Naylor. Congrats on that. Who do you want to take? You got a 3-5-5-1 right now.
Let's do Rico Dowdle.
Yep. Rico Dowdle here, your 6th running back. Let's grab him. Let's spin quickly so we are ready for this next one here as I close out the prompts. Okay, what do we got? This one's going to be called The Gambler. We're going to cue Calvin Ridley, Jamison Williams, and Quintez Cephas. The former two are gone, but we can get Cephas in there. For each verse of Kenny Rogers, The Gambler, that Pete and Craig complete before the next pick, remove one from the queue. So luckily, those other guys are already gone. Let's see here. We are going to have to get through just one verse. Kenny Rogers, Gambler. Man, I am... have you ever done this song at karaoke?
Never. I can't even remember what the melody is.
Okay, it'll come to us here. All right, let me get this up here. All right. Yeah, on a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere. I met up with the gambler.
We were both too tired to sleep. We took a turn to staring
out the window at the darkness.
The boredom overtook us.
And he began to speak.
He said,
"Son, I made a life.
A reading people's faces.
And knowing what their cards were.
The way they held their eyes. So if you don't mind my saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice."
So I handed him
my bottle. He drank down my last swallow. He bummed a cigarette. Asked me for a light. Night got deathly quiet. His face lost all expression. Said, "If you're gonna play the game, boy, gotta learn to play it right. You gotta know when to hold 'em. Know when to hold 'em. Know when to walk away. Know when to run.
All right, we got the reverse.
Money. Sitting at the table.
7 seconds.
Oh, shit.
Johnson's. I meant to put it in
Sticky.
Okay, let me get him. Okay, we got him.
Whew.
All right, that was close. Yes, I meant to put in Quintez Cephas, and I put in Cephas Johnson.
We gotta get a video of Mike Gesicki doing the gritty to Kenny Rogers, the gambler.
I think he might be down for that. And that's our connection through Laird. They were teammates. He's friends with Gesicki. I think we can make this happen.
Yeah.
3-6-5-2 build here. There were a couple picks that were punishments. A couple was an accident. Brock Purdy, there was an accident. But otherwise, I think you've recovered nicely. I guess the real big question is, are you looking to try to stack up Nick Mullins with any Jags?
Yeah, not necessarily. But there are Jags who I would like in this range if they're still available. I mean, there's a certain Jag.
Does his name rhyme with Shimami Crown?
Yeah, it does.
I've been drafting him a decent bit, both Lawrence stacks, opposite Indianapolis stuff. Like when you have a bunch of rookie wide receivers, I feel like he's a nice safe bet to round out your teams with.
Yeah, and then the weeks where there's this whole Travis Hunter thing of how many snaps is he going to play on offense? How many snaps is he going to play on defense? Well, the biggest beneficiary for any snaps that Travis Hunter is not out there for is probably going to be Dyami Brown.
Yeah, that's a good thought. I hadn't even thought about Dyami Brown through the lens of when Hunter's not out there. Probably a nice little boost for Brenton Strange in those scenarios too.
Right, and I think we'll see Travis Hunter play mainly just like high leverage snaps on defense, or more snaps when games are closer. When a game's a blowout, I just don't see him in the game, especially on defense, and maybe sometimes not even that much on offense if it's a big enough blowout. So week 17 against the Colts, if this is a game that the Jags are the engine is just running hot, that offense is really clicking, they're up by several touchdowns in the third quarter, maybe we get a lot of Dyami Brown there.
All right,
he's gonna run so many routes and snaps.
We got to get to a prompt here. Tiny Dancer. I put Cavante Turpin in the queue. You have to sing a verse of Elton John's Tiny Dancer to take who you want. I'm going to get this in the Chrome tab so we can get some lyric. Let's see if we can get you through a verse here. Can you hear this?
Blue jean baby, LA lady, seamstress for the band, pretty eyed, pirate smile, you marry a music man. Ballerina, get us now. You must have seen now. I'm dancing in the sand. And now she's in me, always with me. Tiny dancer in my hand.
You can keep singing, but who do you want to pick here? Daniel Jones, Marshawn Lloyd, Andre Yoshivas, Jatavian Sanders, Lockett. Any favorites deep?
How about 80 Mitchell?
Did I get it in time? Come on, nimble fingers. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. We got that in. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Let's do our final spin here, and then we can talk about Colts. Wide receivers, Greg, aka the Coach Speak Index, crushing it on the randomizer. We're going to be doing a draft on his channel immediately following this prompt here. The most versatile man in fantasy sports. We're going to queue up Deebo Samuel or a backup. So we're going to go to a backup there. Greg must show or tell the chat about a skill that he possesses that the chat doesn't know about yet to take who he wants. Do you have any hidden talent, skills, show and tell that you want to surprise us with?
I make the world's best Sloppy Joe.
Really?
Yes.
I love Sloppy Joe.
1,000%. No question about it.
Is this like a proprietary recipe? What makes your Sloppy Joe the best?
I will not be giving it out. I make it from scratch. None of that manwich shit. I perfected it during, I started cooking during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And Sloppy Joe's was one of the first things. And it took me like 2 or 3 times. And then by the third time, I will tell you, one of the secret ingredients is cinnamon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, get a little sweet in there with the salty. Man, I've not had a Sloppy Joe in ages, but like cookouts growing up, or it'd be a potluck style thing, or you go to an event at the school and just housing like 3 or 4 Sloppy Joes always hit so hard. Man, I gotta come out to LA and try these Greg Sloppy Joes.
Dude, come on out here. People are trying to get me to open a food truck with these.
Really?
Things. Yeah.
Oh, is that like your go-to if you have friends over and stuff? It's like, I'm gonna whip up my Sloppy Joes.
Well, there's a lot of things now. Sloppy Joe's, big, pretty decent French toast. Like a beef stew. Oh, we on the clock here?
Yeah. Last pick here. You got a 3-6-6-2. Any favorites you want here? Maybe a 3 tight end build.
Yeah, let's do Jatavian Sanders.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
He's looking good. No Tommy Tremble right now. Coaches giving him some praise.
Yeah, liking what they're seeing. I remember back to last year, Canales talking about what a tight end friendly offense he has, and this is year. It's really tough for tight ends in their rookie seasons, and in year 2 here, like maybe we see a leap out of JT Sanders. We saw him come on a little bit at the end of last season, and I think this could be a pretty good offense.
Love it. I'm going to quickly recap this team, give your final thoughts, and then we'll hop over and draft a team on the Coach Speak Index YouTube channel. Nick Mullins, the elephant in the room, along with Brock Purdy and Justin Herbert. 6 running backs here: Trevion Henderson, Tony Pollard, Aaron Jones, Isaac Knott, Patrick Laird, Garendo, Miles, I would walk 500 miles, Sanders, Enrico Dowdle. Nice little 0 RB room there. Neighbors, Amon Ra, Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore, Trey Harris, 80 Mitchell. Perfectly cromulent there at wide receiver. And then 3 tight ends: Loveland, Gesicki, Jatavian Sanders. I think you did pretty well with this one, Greg.
That $32 is ours, baby.
It's all ours. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Again, thank you to the randomizer team. Thank you to our Best Ball Bash guest, Ben. Love doing this show every week. If you guys want to draft on the Best Ball Bash, become a YouTube member, use that hashtag, and we will see you guys next time on the Randomizer in Best Ball Bash. For Greg, I'm Pete. Peace.